Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. Woo! I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we have quite a bit to discuss today, okay? We got so much going on. The New York Jets have benched Zach Wilson. Tim Boyle will be starting on Black Friday against the Dolphins. We're going to be discussing what's going on. There's been some roster shakeups. We're going to carry three quarterbacks. I know it sounds crazy, but we're going to get into that. We're also going to be talking about Mekhi Becton. We're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers as well. He came out and said some things today on the Pat McAfee show that we have to discuss, okay? Salute to all the savages in the chat. I see y'all in the building. Dakota, Venom, Jay. Listen, I'm fired up, okay? We're going to get to the callers in a second. Let me get the show started. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. All right? For those of you that do not know, I am on iTunes. Yes, your boy's on iTunes. All right? Going over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show. All right? Subscribe, okay? Subscribe to that iTunes, all right? Subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a 5-star rating, okay? And then leave me some feedback. Let me know what you folks think about what I'm doing. I want to thank everybody that does that. It helps the show get out there. You know what I'm saying? Your boy needs all he can get. Please help your boy continue to get out there. I want to thank everybody that does that. I get a lot of people that, talk to me, go back and forth, that check out my show from various, spots, especially again through iTunes, through our through the podcast. So I appreciate y'all. Salutes to all of my overseas listeners that be hitting your boy up. Saying, hey, Joe, we over here across the pond, and we be listening to you, we listen to your podcast, through wherever we get our podcast from. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, iTunes, okay, The Long Beach Joe Show. Your boy is also on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Okay, personal page is @YoungJ00, but @The Long Beach Joe is the show's page. Go ahead. Follow, all right, @The Long Beach Joe. Okay, I'll follow you right back. Let's go back and forth, man, have those discussions. I talk to a lot of people, have a lot of fun connecting with Jets fans. Some people just hit me up and want to talk to me about life. Hey, I'm all about that too. I'm all about it, all right? I'm all about it, okay? Please hit your boy up again, @The Long Beach Joe. And for those of you that do not know, okay, some of you don't, your boy goes live on YouTube, okay? We go live on YouTube. That's how we do the show here. We go live. We also put up content as well. I have other videos, separate from just the show that I do as well on YouTube where we talk about the team. But keep in mind, when you come over here, okay, to the YouTube channel, which is Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, all right? When you do that, just know you're going to have to deal with some people, man, all right? It's my chat, man. I call them the savages. You don't want to know why? Because they're savage. Listen, man, I'm going to keep it real with you, man. We're Jets fans through and through. I got love for everybody, okay? But the savages, they don't care, bruh. They don't care, bruh. Like, they don't care who you are, where you're from. Nobody is safe, man. All right? If they don't like what you're bringing to the table, if they don't like what you got to say, they disagree, they're going to let you know about it, okay? Respectfully, that's the only thing I ask is just be respectful. But they definitely going to let you know what time it is, okay? So please come on over again, Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Also, give the stream a thumbs up as well. Give the videos a thumbs up wherever you're watching me from, okay? Now, boy, oh boy, do we have so much to get into. We got a lot to discuss here. And we're going to get to the callers again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers, okay? We'll be discussing everything quickly, all right? We know we got smacked up by the Bills. 32-6. That was rough to watch. Right? Ooh, that was a tough game, okay? But there was some fallout from that, okay? We saw a lot of things moving and shaking. Of course, Zach Wilson was benched in that game. And recently, Saleh had a sit-down with the media and officially benched Zach Wilson. He will not be starting against the Miami Dolphins this upcoming game that we have on Black Friday, first Black Friday game ever. And the Jets are hosting it. Or the Jets are going to be playing in it. And so here we are, right? Coach Saleh sat down with the media and said that Zach will not start against the Dolphins and that Tim Boyle will be the New York Jets starter for the game. Now, keep in mind, they said, okay, well, you know, there's members of the media that said, hey, well, if Zach's not going to be the starter, is he going to be the backup? And he goes, no. Actually, the immediate backup is going to be Trevor Siemian. Zach Wilson is the third-string quarterback here, right? So they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks in the game Friday. And when asked by the media, well, why are you doing that? Why are you carrying 3 quarterbacks? And he goes, well, we had an extra roster spot. All right. Okay, you know. My thoughts on that is this. The only other thing that you could do at this point, right, if you're going to sit Zach and you don't want him to be the backup for whatever reason, is deactivate him. And I think the optics, if you deactivate Zach Wilson, would be really bad. You wouldn't be able to sell him to, you know, ticket buyers or the fan base at all, or even the media. Nothing. Because that would mean that you deactivated him for the 3rd time that he's been here, right? Keep in mind, he was deactivated twice last year, right? He was deactivated after that Patriots game. Then he was turned around and deactivated again after the Jaguars game. So they couldn't do that again. And I think that that's why he's not deactivated for the upcoming game, okay? So we will be carrying 3 quarterbacks. And when asked by the media, you know, what went wrong with Zach? Why do you think that we haven't seen Zach kind of, you know, be able to step up? And so far, you know, not having the success on the field, he kind of is a failure, right? Well, Saleh stepped up and said, whoa, you know, I wouldn't consider him a failure. But, you know, things haven't worked out, you know, because of various issues. And he said that Zach, the situation with Zach is that Zach didn't have the time to really sit back and watch and learn from the bench, right? He talked about things, you know, getting better reading certain things, certain coverages. He talked about the inability to play fast, right? And he even talked about making changes in various spots as well that they had already done, right? They made changes along the offensive line. They made changes along the wide receiver core. They made changes at the position group. And that, you know, making the change at the quarterback position was the next step for them to see if they could get a spark offensively. Man, I look at it this way, right? The changes that he's talking about he's made, I don't know if we really made those, right? Because if you look at the changes, Izzy Adebawakanda was supposed to get snaps. He was still out-snapped by Dalvin Cook, still. And we know that Dalvin hasn't been his best. You look at the wide receiver position, Allen Lazard, who is playing very bad, and I turned up the heat on him a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to keep that fire, you know, burning. He's still out-snapping like Jason Brownlee and Malik Taylor and all these guys. He's still out there doing that, right? And these are guys that are dropping footballs, not playing well. Even the tight end position, Jeremy Ruckert is still getting out-snapped by the other tight ends. So the changes, you know, to provide the spark, we'll see if the spark is there. Now, as far as Zach Wilson and his situation to sit back and watch, we all knew that. That's why we brought in Aaron Rodgers, right? That was the plan. That was the goal, to have Zach Wilson sit back and watch Aaron Rodgers continue to learn within the offense and progress, but we know that that was not able to happen. And, of course, they also talked about, or he talked about how the plan going forward, with quarterbacks and things is going to change. And a lot of people took that as him and Joe Douglas possibly having a disagreement with how to handle Zach Wilson or how they were handling Zach Wilson or how they handle quarterbacks going forward. I don't know. But, man, this is a tough situation, all right? A very, very tough situation. He also talked about how Zach, just continuing to learn has to learn how to play fast. And I get that. Playing fast, especially when you're playing in an offense that is predicated about getting the ball out of your hands quickly, that's what it's all about. But, man, it's tough to get the ball out of your hands quickly when you got guys barreling down on you. And I'm not a guy that just is all about, supporting Zach Wilson through it all and it doesn't matter, I'm a homer. No, I'm a realist. And if we look at a lot of these issues that are surrounding Zach Wilson, it's very, very tough, to be successful when you have an offensive line that's not blocking and you're running for your life. And then when you're trying to hit guys, they're dropping footballs, all right? But Zach has played his part, trust. He is part of the problem, but there are some issues around him, right? Now, continuing on, he said that Zach was fine. Of course, they talked to him about it, and they're going to continue forward with this way and see what happens. Again, I don't know if we'll see Zach again this season unless Trevor Siemian melts down and Tim Boyle melts down. I don't know if we'll see Zach this season. Now, the situation with Zach, is what it is. We continue to move on. But then we saw Aaron Rodgers today come out, and Pat McAfee, he had some things that he had to say as well. Because as I spoke about, I was thinking to myself when Saleh was saying these things, I was saying, man, there's so many things that's been going on surrounding Zach Wilson. Can you really, put the bulk or the weight of the offensive issues on him, right? Well, Aaron Rodgers came out today and he had some things to say, Pat McAfee, and he said that he feels like Zach Wilson has been scapegoated for the New York Jets' offensive issues. Here's the audio here. Give it a listen, folks. Now, there you heard it, right, from Aaron Rodgers. And let me tell you something. That set off a situation. I wanted y'all to hear it directly from Aaron Rodgers. We're going to get to the lines, 515-602-9639 in just a second, okay? Aaron Rodgers himself said he believed that Zach was being scapegoated. And there's other guys around here, right? There's other guys on the offense that are not doing their jobs. And he's the guy being blamed for it, okay? Again, I'm not a Zach Wilson. I know there's a lot of names for people that just support Zach Wilson regardless and never talk about him negatively. Never talk about him negatively, but trust, I have crushed Zach Wilson before. And I'll do it again if he plays bad or if he plays not up to my standard, right? But there are other guys on this offense that I believe truly are getting a pass and are not getting the heat that they deserve at all. Allen Lazard being one of them. This is a guy that is getting paid a lot of money, that is playing like poop, caca, doo-doo, okay? I'm telling you, he's playing horrible. Allen Lazard is running sloppy routes. He can't catch the football. When he's running his routes, he's not fighting to come back to actually get to the ball. He's just out there in la-la land. And it is mind-boggling. I am shocked at this point that he has not been benched. I'm shocked. And I know that Saleh talked about the changes that needed to be made, but damn it, they need to be made now. And he's one of the guys that need to be made an example of, along with, I'm not saying the other guys, because this offensive line at this point is eaten up with injuries, but the line not being able to block, even Garrett Wilson has had some drops and some fumbles as well. So there's blame to be spread around. Now, of course, Zach Wilson spoke with the media and said he feels like he isn't being scapegoated. The offense is not getting it done with him at the helm, and he understands, hey, there's a change. Of course, Zach is going to, toe the line. But you had Aaron Rodgers say what he said. Aaron Rodgers also talked about coming back December 2nd, talked about wanting to be able to rejoin the New York Jets and get back to practice, said he's way ahead of schedule. I am very nervous about that situation. So we'll see what happens with that as well. He also talked about the season not being dead at 4-6, and that there's other teams that have made a run at 4-6 and done some very, very special things. So we're going to be discussing that as well. Mekhi Becton did not practice today. He actually, it's actually come out that it was he has a grade 1 ankle sprain, a low ankle sprain. He's only actually expected to miss 1 or 2 weeks. That is amazing, right? Because we all thought that it was going to be way more than 1 or 2 weeks, okay? The New York Jets also have to make a decision on Dwayne Brown by Thursday. He's entering, or he's about to leave that 21-day window. If he's not activated, to the roster, to the active roster, then he could end up being on IR for the rest of the season. We'll see what the New York Jets do there. We know that there's big issues along the offensive line, especially, again, with Mekhi Becton's, possible play in this upcoming game still being in question. He didn't practice today, but they're hoping that Mekhi Becton will play on Friday, okay? And we're also going to be talking about the Jets' upcoming game against the Dolphins. There's a lot to discuss, and I wanted to go as quickly as possible because I want to get to these lines. 515-602-9639. That's the number. Call in. Listen, we're getting to the lines, okay? Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so when I post content, you will be in the know, all right? Please do that. Also share the stream across your social media with your friends and your family. I always love hearing that people, check out the show from those situations. And also, please give me some feedback. Listen, you want to give to the stream, Super Chat's there. Cash App is at the bottom. Anything you want to give to the platform is greatly appreciated. And again, when you call in, please make sure you have a good line with a good connection, no crazy background noise or I have to move on. And also, there's one rule on my show for my new callers. Do not call in here cursing because I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than New York Jets made Zach Wilson the third-string quarterback. Ooh, that was fast. Hey, can y'all tell I have, way too much fun doing this? Was it too soon? Let me know, Savages. Savages in the chat. I see you in the building. Put your questions, put your statements. We'll be coming to you folks in between calls. Keep in mind I'm one man, though, all right? But we will get to you if you have a question or something that you want to say as well. Again, Super Chats are greatly appreciated. Somebody is already saying, Joe, it's too fast. First caller we're going to is Val. Val, we're coming to you, 315-631-917. Other callers will get to you in a second. Trust, we want to hear from everybody. Val salutes. For those of you that do not know Val, he's a savage. Val, the New York Jets are 4-6. Zach Wilson is now our third-string quarterback. Aaron Rodgers believes that Zach Wilson has been scapegoated for the New York Jets' offensive issues, and I am laughing my keister off. Give me your thoughts about all of this.
Oh, man. I didn't even get to hear the audio because I guess on the phone it doesn't, register or something. So I guess I got to hear it on the YouTube. Yeah, so I didn't really hear what he said, but he said that he was a scapegoat.
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers basically said that the New York Jets needed a spark offensively, and that that Zach Wilson basically was made a scapegoat, and that there's 10 other guys along the offense, that aren't doing their jobs either. And he talked about other things too. He talked about how if you have a bunch of guys not doing their job, or if you have one guy doing his job and a bunch of other guys not doing their job, you're going to have issues. He said that Zach Wilson's future is bright. He did say that he also kicked himself and that he's hurting because he hasn't, been able to, play because he's been injured. So he feels bad about that. But he did say, hey, we're going to hug on Zach. We're going to support Tim, but we're also going to, love on Zach as well because he needs that. So give me your thoughts.
Oh, man. It just goes to show you how protected Zach Wilson is, man. But it's just all right. I told y'all, man.
You really think that he's being protected?
Yes.
You really think
Joe,
he's being protected?
When do you ever see a quarterback that is this protected and gets benched and then comes back, then we can't get rid of him, and then, it is anybody else, any other quarterback, we would have, he would have been gone. I just don't understand it. But He doesn't score touchdowns. And the meaning of this game is to score touchdowns. Yes. But the thing is, I want to see some leadership from Zach Wilson as well, too. And I did hear what you were saying when you said that, he doesn't have that respect yet. But you got to gain that respect by showing and proving that you are that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was the number 2 pick overall. This is not your first season. You're not a rookie. This is not your second year. This is your 3rd year, man. Like, you got to really show up. I mean, listen, this NFL sometimes means not for long. And I will say he is not fully the reason. He's not fully the reason. I will say the offensive line is definitely a problem. 100% that goes on Joe Douglas because we needed to address this. He needed to address this back in the summertime and in the offseason as well too, because it was a problem. Even Aaron Rodgers was complaining about that on Hard Knocks. I don't know if you've seen it or watched it, but he was getting sacked left and right. So it was basically something that we needed to address. You had Corey Davis that retired. That's $10 million right there. You could have used that $10 million to actually get somebody else to come in here to actually help and to make some trades.
Wait. Hold on, Val. And I don't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
But here's the deal. We're talking about bringing guys in. He did. Joe Douglas, there's a lot of things you can blame him for, okay? There are things you can blame him for. But he did attempt to address the offensive line. I just want to put this out here. He did attempt to address the offensive line. He went after Orlando Brown Jr., and I think Orlando Brown Jr. talked about this publicly, that the Jets made him an offer, a very lucrative offer, and he chose elsewhere, right? Now, what I will put on Joe Douglas is you cannot depend on Dwayne Brown and basically give him the starting left tackle job coming into the season, but I talked about that, okay? The same way I talked about Mekhi Becton needing that 5th-year option, okay? But, again, when you look at the situation here along the offensive line, there's a lot of guys that are 3rd stringers that are playing here. There was big injuries. Connor McGovern, Tippmann went down for, a second, but he was able to come back. I remember people, when I was talking about how, hey, we need to get some more offensive line in here, I was told, well, ATV can switch from right tackle to guard, so his versatility is going to negate that, so we don't have to worry about that. Yes, I remember. You remember? I was told that when I was saying, I have concerns. I was told to shut up. Well, ATV tears his Achilles. That versatility is no longer here. All right. But as far as the offense, he went out and did some work. That's what we brought Alan Lazard in to do. We brought Alan Lazard in to be the Corey Davis replacement. Remember that? We were all excited. The guy stinks. He is terrible. And listen, and I want to play devil's advocate. Again, I want to say this again, okay? I'm not a Dak supporter through and through, but I'm saying this. With all of the issues that we are seeing along this offense, right? Alan Lazard playing like garbage. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Nobody outside of Garrett Wilson seems to be able to get open on a consistent basis at all. It is literally only Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. That's it. That's the entire Jets offense. Nobody else. So when you have an offensive line that's crumbling, when you have guys that you brought in to be playmakers not doing it, and it's not just Lazard, C.J. Uzomah, there's other guys too. And also something that people are not talking about enough, and I'll give you the next word, Val, because I want to hear from you.
Oh, most definitely.
Nathaniel Hackett is horrible. He is awful. He is an awful play caller, and nobody's talking about it.
Oh, go ahead.
So with all of this swirling around Zach Wilson, I mean, can you see where Aaron Rodgers is saying, listen, he's being scapegoated? Give me your thoughts.
All righty, let's go. All right, so let's start from Dwayne Brown. Let's go down the list. Dwayne Brown, he was a problem. This is supposed to be the CEO head coach, right? Correct? All right, he got brought here to be the CEO head coach. Then on top of that, if you see that there's a problem there and this guy had no preseason and this guy, he wasn't really that good last year, where is the in-game adjustments? And a lot of people have been asking me, what is the accountability of the adjustments if you're not performing well? Where is the where's the punishment? Like, where's the, we got to switch you out and stuff because you're not doing your job to the best of your ability? That's supposed to be CEO.
Here we go.
There we go.
Talk, Val. I'm listening.
So that's my problem with coaching right there. The in-game adjustments, the ego-driven. You could have had Mekhi Becton at left tackle, and this would have all been avoided. And then on top of that, you know that the schedule was going to be that tough. And then, hold on, what else did you say? And you did know the schedule was going to be tough, and we didn't make that adjustment, so we let that linger on. And then, of course, people got hurt, and, we end up losing games. And then on top of that, what else did you mention? Joe Douglas. Yeah, Joe Douglas. Yes, he did. How can I say it? He did try to reach out to some free agents and stuff. But I still feel like there were some free agents that he could have at least got that could have helped us a lot more, knowing that, the whole situation of Dwayne Brown and the situation. But I still believe we had cap space. We had cap room. And on top of that, we didn't utilize the backup position as well, too, the quarterback position, because now they're coming out to say, oh, yeah, we wanted to redshirt Zach Wilson this year after how many games? Come on, man. Like, we've seen that he wasn't ready. He's obviously not ready. And then, I mean, it's just like they had so many opportunities to get J Dobbs. They had so many opportunities to get, multiple other backups, sort of saying. And, Carson Wentz even reached out to the Jets organization, and they didn't even pick up the phone. Yep, they didn't even pick up the phone or even, discuss the contract situation when our team was on the line. Then you also bring up Nathaniel Hackett. What was said? We have, even before the season had came, we had the worst coaching ratings in the NFL before the season even started when we got Nathaniel Hackett. And that goes on Joe Douglas. That goes on Joe Douglas as well, too. You got to do your due diligence. You got to see if this is going to be the right guy to develop. I mean, it's not even to develop, but, for Aaron Rodgers, but to develop your young talent as well, too. Is this the perfect person, even though he's coming off of a career terrible, head coach? And now it's even being discussed who's worse, Adam Gase or Nathaniel Hackett. And people are saying, we actually scored with Adam Gase. So that's how bad it's getting. That's how bad it's getting.
Val,
Joe,
hold on. That is nasty. Adam Gase.
That's bad.
That name makes me scared. Now, listen, Val, you're bringing the heat, but we gotta get rolling because I got callers. My final question before I let you go, before I get your final score prediction, what are your expectations for the New York Jets offense with Tim Boyle at the helm?
I'm just hoping for, I mean,
that was a lot of air.
To be fast with it, man. That was a lot of air.
That came
I know,
clearly,
man. It's just
okay.
As soon as you said that name, I just seen all the picks from the preseason. I just seen turnovers. I seen, he did score a couple of times, but it's just like I don't even know how he even made the roster. Is it because he knows the system? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, man, I don't even know what to look forward to that, but, best of luck to him. And he did look like he was getting the ball out of his hands fast, but as you see, he threw a pick as well, too, when the backups came in. It wasn't even the starters. This is my problem. I don't know what we're doing, Joe. I really don't know what this organization is doing.
Give me your final score prediction. Jets, Dolphins, last Friday.
Oh, man.
What do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
Okay, I think Greg Zuerlein is going to be the MVP of this game as well, too. So I'm guessing this is going to be I would say a 6. No, it's going to be low for us because we can't score touchdowns. So I would say we probably get a touchdown, probably 10-21 because our defense is going to show up.
10-21 Jets?
Dolphins.
Oh, 10-21 Dolphins. Ooh.
Yeah.
Listen, Val, I got to slide off. The lines are hot. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Absolutely, Joe, man. Everybody hitting through subscribe to Joe, and whatever he says at the end is false allegations.
That is a lie. The allegations are true, okay? Everything I say about Val is factual. Salutes. I want to thank him for calling in. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, we're going to David, okay? David, we're coming directly to you. I see all the rest of you. We're getting to everybody. Trust. I want to hear from everybody tonight. For those of you that do not know David, he's a savage. David, brother, how are you doing? I'm having a blast here listening to everyone's takes. Aaron Rodgers says that Zach Wilson was scapegoated and pretty much, placed a lot of the blame on or the blame has been placed upon him for a lot of the Jets' offensive issues, but it's not all him. What say you?
Well, good evening, Joe. Nice to talk to you again.
Nice to speak with you as well, man.
Yes. Well, yeah, I was listening to I finally caught your show when it first came on, so I was able to hear the background. I did catch a little bit on Michael Kay, the topic you were talking about with the ESPN interview with Aaron, and that's the key I want to talk about is sometimes, when you go for a quarterback like Aaron and it doesn't work out like that, and don't prepare in the background with the proper backup, you get exploited. You can't really think clearly about what your whole season is about because the whole identity is with Aaron, and it becomes all about him. He brought his posse with him. So the fellas you were referring to, the Lazard, and I believe the tight end, and I think wasn't there even a blocker? I'm not great with the whole roster, but didn't he bring at least four people with him?
Yeah, so it was Hackett. Well, Hackett was here before him. But
Hackett, yeah.
It was we brought in Rodgers, we brought in Cobb, we brought in Malik Taylor has history. Yeah, Malik and Cobb's been inactive for the last couple of weeks. Malik Taylor has a history with the Packers in their offense as well at some point in his career.
Right.
We also brought in Billy Turner as well. So there was guys that brought in.
That's another one that slipped my mind. Yeah,
he sucks. Yeah,
and that's
he sucks.
The key. So the key is when you bring in a fella like Aaron, and then it blows up on you quickly within the first 4 plays. Now you got to deal with that personality. You got to deal with that aura. He's going to have a strong influence on the coaching, on even the GM, and even the owner because his personality is so strong. It overshadows, in my opinion, the coaching staff and undermines the team. So you're going to have splits in the locker room. You're going to have the Aaron loyalist, and if he decrees that Zach is the good boy that he likes, and then it undermines the coaching and the GM even. Because if they disciplined Zach the way they should have never went with him. They knew what he was. They needed immediately to get a backup quarterback. They didn't do it. So it undermined the whole year. We're never going to really know. Now, the injury was bad. But if we would have got at least a reasonable backup quarterback, Joe, we could have went further. But we'll never know what this season was. We're never going to know because you're always going to second-guess everything once that instability of that level occurs.
Here's and I understand people are talking about the backup quarterback situation, but I remember asking questions surrounding this. That's why Tim Boyle was brought in. When I asked questions about Tim Boyle, and I remember this, and we do live shows, y'all can go back and watch. When I asked about, well, Tim Boyle's been brought in, do you folks think that is a sufficient backup? I was told yes, because he knows the Packers offense and he knows everything he needs to know, which is completely fine.
He was under the Packers.
Exactly. He was under Hackett. But then again, we watched this recent offseason, and Zach thoroughly outperformed him. Thoroughly. Zach looked better than
because it's a safe place.
Zach looked better than Tim Boyle by far this past offseason. Right. I think the greatest issue, and I'm gonna throw it back to you. I think the greatest issue or the greatest mistake that the New York Jets made was believing that Dwayne Brown could be their starting left tackle. I talked about that ad nauseum. Not only believing that he'd be their starting left tackle, but believing that the offensive line could go into the season without really playing in the offseason and gelling, and they'd be fine starting day. Before before he got hit, he was running for his life.
Right, he was running. That's what got him. That's what blew his Achilles.
Yeah. Exactly. Go ahead, David. I'll go ahead.
No. You're on target, though. I mean, that's the point, though. Everything someone says, and I think your points, are right on target. But there's so much to say because when you lose the head like that, when that traumatic injury occurs, now everything is naked. It's like you can see all the flaws. And then couple that with all of those tackles going down, the center going down. It's like a snowball.
Yeah.
So what happens is you're starting to undermine. Everybody's pressing. The defense has got to try to play like they're the offense. They're trying to knock the ball out all of the time. They're trying to do things, pressing more than what they need to do because they got to create offense. When that comes in, then you're creating an instability within the whole locker room. Everybody's trying to do more than what they naturally should be doing. That's what happened to the Jets. That's how they lost some of those critical games. The receivers aren't catching because they're trying too hard to catch it. It's like, I got to catch this.
Well,
if this doesn't work out, boom, we're going to go 3 and out. And everybody's, in my opinion, what I've seen this year, everybody is stressing, overplaying. Then what happens is you're gonna make mistakes because they don't believe in their quarterback. They want to be a good teammate, Joe, but they never believed. Last year they were wearing the Mike White shirts. It's the same guy.
No, listen, I hear you. I hear you, David. But here's my thing, is that when you're getting paid, just go do your job. I understand people are saying that they're pressing and things like that. I don't necessarily think that's true because Allen Lazard hasn't been able to catch this whole season. When you're a receiver, nothing changes. Yeah, your quarterback changes, but nothing else changes about what you're doing. You still have to go out there and catch the football. Those are basic things you have to do.
Oh, yeah.
You have to go out
there
and run your route solidly. You have to go out there and, not commit idiotic penalties. I feel like if you look to talk about people pressing and stressing, you look at C.J. Uzomah, he's out here grabbing guys, taking touchdowns off the board. These are veteran guys.
Right.
These are not like I would be more along the lines of that thinking if this was full of young players and all. No, these are veteran players that are making these big mistakes. Allen Lazard been in the league. So I think a lot of these guys are just not stepping up
Joe,
and not doing what they need to do. Go ahead.
We're talking about Lazard, right? And you're right in your observations. Did we also see Lazard chasing down a Buffalo Bills player, Joe, and then hugging him after he scored? What's up with that?
David, David, do you know how much heat I got? That was so stupid. He's just out there joking around and laughing. David, you saw it the same way I did. I thought that was ridiculous. I am shocked that he has not been benched. I'm shocked.
Well, here's the thing.
Jason Brownlee, Malik Taylor, there's so many guys that we could put out there. If you're going to go out and get penalties, drop footballs, run lazy routes, joke during the game, if you're going to do that, then sit on the bench, man. Give me your thoughts about that, David. And also give me your thoughts
That's
about
why
what
I had the answer to my
Tim
own
Boyle
question.
at the helm of the offense.
When I saw that, I already knew the answer. I said, I know why he's doing that. It's because they believe in their core. These are all professionals. They believe in their core they are not good enough to get to the promised land of what they could have been if Aaron had a decent season and, they didn't have the injuries. So the team basically, I believe, has the psyche of we're not going to achieve our goals. And I believe it's in the heart of Saleh and it's in Joe Douglas. I think it's embedded in the culture, Joe, of this team this year that they are so discouraged. They won't admit it, but if you put a lie detector test on them and you ask the right questions, you would get most of that team saying, you know what, the truth is, man, what happened to Aaron just blew us all away. We were so hyped that we had a quality leader and we could do this. And when he went down, we realized, oh, wow, all we got is Zach. And then they tried, and you have momentum. But, Joe, here's the thing. Football's momentum. There's not much of a difference between a winning team like Kansas City and the Eagles or the Jets. The Jets beat the Eagles, Joe. So football is momentum. And when you start getting comfortable with losing, all of a sudden you're going to lose. And it's not that they're so much better. It's just you got comfortable with losing. That's what happened, in my opinion.
I hear you.
That hug proved it to me, Joe. That hug proved it. I've never seen that. I've never seen that, Joe.
Because I believe that there's a lack of discipline here. And we've seen that. Not only with
losing's
that,
okay, as long as you try. As long as you got a good week of practice.
Yeah, the penalties and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what. Before I let you go, David, give me your final score prediction. Jets, Dolphins. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses?
There it is.
How do you
Joe,
think
this ain't hype. Thank you for the question. Here's the answer. Joe, this ain't hype. I think this quarterback looks good. He's tall. He's stout. He understands the offense. He can throw. And I believe it's at home. I believe they can beat this team. I believe they're going to win. They're going to win this game 20-16 because they can cover the receivers. And Sauce is ticked off, and the defense is embarrassed that they let the Bills score too much. I think they rebound and beat this team. And I think Boyle has the potential to be that average quarterback. We're going to find out. I like what I thought. So you have a good show,
thank
Joe.
you for the call. I got to slide off. Listen, I understand what people are saying. And I get that maybe that is in the psyche of some of these players where they want to fold. But if you want to fold, then get the hell out of here. Because you're going to face adversity. Every team faces adversity. Even the Chiefs, even the Eagles, they face adversity throughout the season where things don't go right. They have injuries or guys go down. Where's the mentality that you're going to keep fighting and pushing? Because if you can make a run, if you can get into the playoffs, trust me, anything can happen. We've seen it. I remember there were years where Mark Sanchez was not very good at all, and he was hindering us and killing us. And we would do just enough. We get into the playoffs, and we made a run to the AFC Championships back-to-back with him. He was not good. If you are going to call it in and mail it in because there's some adversity in the season and just decide you're not going to do your job, where's the discipline? We're talking about Allen Lazard. He ain't playing well. He's hugging guys out on the field. We're getting back to the lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking our callers next. We're going to Kevin. Kevin, we're coming directly to you. Rusty, Venom, Perry, I see you. New callers. Hold on. We'll get to everybody. Trust. For those of you that do not know, Kevin, he's a savage. Kevin, man, I'm sitting here going back and forth with people. Aaron Rodgers has said that he believes that Zach Wilson was made a scapegoat for the Jets' offensive issues. Of course, Zach Wilson came out and said he doesn't believe that he is a scapegoat, and the offense just wasn't getting it done with him at the helm. What say you?
First of all, thank you for bringing me on the show. I've been a Jets fan since 1982. First thing I want to say is I agree that Zach Wilson has been made a scapegoat. However, because of his play over the past 3 seasons, he has brought that on himself. If he had played better, we wouldn't be in this situation. If he had played better last season, we would have never had Aaron Rodgers. So ultimately, when you're the quarterback, you get all the glory and you get all the blame. That's part of the position. And so Zach Wilson is getting the blame. But again, go back to last season when he said he didn't let the defense down. He lost the team right there. And so all that stuff, it just kind of came back and bit him this season. And I was rooting for him. I wanted him and so on and so forth. But it's time to move on.
No, listen, and I hear you. I've spoken with Jets fans that have that mindset as well. And so my next question begins. If Zach Wilson is getting the blame and you believe that he is a scapegoat, then where's the blame for Allen Lazard? Why is he allowed to continue to go out on the football field and start?
That goes to the general manager, Joe Douglas. And not only just for Allen.
Listen, and I hear you. Joe Douglas signed him, right, and gave him a lot of money. But I'm saying if we're benching Zach Wilson, I'm just asking questions here. If we're benching Zach Wilson and we're holding him accountable, or we're making him a scapegoat, right? We're blaming all our offensive issues on him. Then where is the benching of Allen Lazard? Because it is clear as day, that he is out there doing whatever.
Garbage.
I'm just asking.
You're right.
Just asking. That
falls on Robert Saleh. That's on Robert Saleh. And the same thing with C.J. Uzomah with those penalties he got against the Raiders. He should have got benched right then and there after that second penalty, not after the game. Not until not next week. That's on Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, There's a lot of blame to go around, but here we are sitting with Zach Wilson as our number 3 quarterback at the spot. Trevor Siemian is the backup. Now, we're talking about a lot of things moving and shaking around here. What are your expectations of the Jets' offense with Tim Boyle at the helm? I mean, do you think we'll see the offense take a step forward? Do you think we'll see more points? What are you expecting from them?
Really, the only way is up after what's been going on recently. The previous caller that you had, he was on fire, and it reminded me of something. Like I said, I've been a Jets fan since the early 80s. This kind of has a little bit of a 1999 vibe, and hopefully, you know, for those of you that remember that year, then he went down the first game with the Achilles injury. Rick Meyer came in a few games and stunk it up, and then Ray Lucas came in and was on fire and eventually got the Jets to 8-8. If Parcells had put Ray Lucas in a couple of weeks earlier, the Jets probably finished 9-7, 10-6, get in the playoffs, and who knows what would have happened that year. My hope is that Tim Boyle becomes Ray Lucas 2023, and there is hopefully still time in the season that maybe we can sneak in as a 7th seed miraculously into the playoffs. It doesn't look good, but especially with this offensive line, and I just want to say one more thing about the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers.
Go ahead. That's where I was going.
Because if he comes back, he's going to tear both his Achilles, both his tibias and fibulas, and both his ACLs with that offensive line. So Aaron Rodgers needs to sit down and just stay home for the rest of the year.
Listen, Kevin, this has been a phenomenal call. I know that Aaron Rodgers has talked about coming back on the 2nd of December. He wants to return to practice. No. I'm concerned about him hurting himself. I don't think he tears both of his Achilles, but I'm concerned about him re-injuring simply because I just don't think that an injury that takes, I think it's 9 to 12 months to heal up. You could do that in I think it's 10 weeks. I think they said it's been so far. I don't think that's real, especially as old as he is. So
correct. With that offensive line, if he gets hurt again, it'll be 9 to 12 years instead of 9 to 12 months.
Yeah. Back, Kevin, before I let you go, give me your final score prediction. Jets, Dolphins. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
I'm going to go with the previous caller. I think Tim Boyle lights a fire in that offense. I think now that the Zach Wilson situation is gone, I think the Jets 20-16 in a big upset.
All right, 20. Thank you again for calling in, Kevin. We're going to keep it moving. 515-602-9639. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right. Also share the channel across your social media with your friends and your family. And please give to the platform if you can. Super Chat is at the top of the chat there, and the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. We're going to keep it moving. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, we're going to Rusty. Rusty, we're coming directly to you. Venom, Perry, Chris, new callers, we'll get to you in a second. For those of you that do not know Rusty, he's a savage.
What's up, Joe? Salute
Rusty,
to you and salutes fellow savages.
Salute, man. Listen, Zach Wilson is now our number 3 quarterback. Trevor Siemian is the immediate backup. Tim Boyle, it will be the starter for the upcoming game the New York Jets have. What are your expectations of this offense?
I don't know. It's just just grab the buckets and start trying to pull as much water out of the ship as possible. Everybody grab a bucket. Start getting that water out. I don't understand it with Boyle. I mean, the other callers, it's awesome they're optimistic and everything, but Boyle is 1 for 13 in his collegiate career, and that 1 is 1 touchdown, and that 13 is 13 interceptions. And, that's all I have to say about that. Pretty much Forrest Gumping it. But I don't know, man. I don't know how we don't put in Siemian. And it has disaster written all over it for having Zach as the 3rd listed in being in uniform, because we all know what's going to happen. It's either Boyle's just going to be beyond bad within the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, get benched, or looks good somehow, and then gets hurt. And then Simeon's in there. And then Simeon looks good, gets hurt. And then, hey, look at that, it's Zach. Because Zach can't get personal foul calls against him, gets the most ridiculous roughing the passers, and basically never gets hurt. But, you know, let's, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we don't worry about our offensive line, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough when you look at this situation. I think Tim Boyle, I'm looking to see what he's going to be able to do. When he came in the fourth, he was getting the ball out of his hands quickly. His process is quick, but we weren't seeing much of any change through the offense as far as, like, production. But, again, you know, he came in, 2 minutes left in the third quarter and worked his way through. There was a lot of backups in and stuff. But so we'll see this upcoming game. I will tell you this. He's a guy that's
and I hope so,
through and through. Yeah, I'm hoping that we see an offensive tick up. Now, my next question for you, Rusty, Aaron Rodgers came out and says that he feels like Zach Wilson was the scapegoat for the New York Jets' offensive issues. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. And I think also in a way so is Rodgers, because I don't know, he should be humble in a way and be like, look, Hackett, you can't hack it here. Like, honestly. And like, sign Ken Dorsey or something. Because even how bad, like, quote-unquote, Ken Dorsey actually was, he's been third in the NFL the past 3 years, even when the idiot went to the Giants, whoever their head coach is. I refuse to remember their names. But
Daboll.
Yeah, Daboll, that's it. And
Brian Daboll.
I hope we get like Ken Dorsey or something. He'll be pissed at Buffalo, and B, he's not bad. Like, look what he did with Josh Allen. I really don't think Josh Allen's that good. I don't know. They just got a lot of makeup on him. You know, they got Diggs. That's lipstick on a pig, and it's working a little bit. But you know, so Diggs leaves.
Here's the thing, and here's the thing, and I think that this is a very important point as well. You know, I like to laugh and have a lot of fun and talk with everybody about football, and especially the New York Jets, because I love this team. But I think a lot of people are also missing. You just brought up something. First, I don't think that Hackett's going to get fired. I don't think that's going to happen because of Aaron Rodgers. But I will say this: I do think that there has been an issue, particularly with coaching. When you look at Hackett, he's been moved up to the booth. When something goes on out there with Zach Wilson, right? When guys aren't running their routes correctly, or even if he misses a throw, there is nobody coming over there to help like coach him up. He just sits down by himself. And that how does that work when you're trying to get a young quarterback to turn things around? He literally goes over to the bench, good play, bad play, and sits on the bench by himself and just sits there. There's no even Downing, the guy that's supposed to be here. I think he's up in the booth with Hackett too. There's no one to like help him.
Terrible.
There's no one to help him at all.
I wish we could in a way to be like, yo, Rodgers, you know, some of that $40 million you left on the table, could we throw $10 million back at you and you be our offensive coordinator until you get back? You know, and then you're a quarterback and offensive coordinator.
It's crazy to me that's not happening when we're talking about that this is supposed to be a year to help Zach turn it around. And again, I'm not a guy that's a Zach pacifist. I understand that he's not, he's not Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. Not at all. I'm not saying that. I don't. Nobody believes to this point that he is our franchise quarterback. Not even the organization. If they did, they wouldn't have brought in Aaron Rodgers during the offseason. Our owner, the owner of the New York Jets, came out and said the missing piece is quarterback. That's why we got Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson was on the roster when he said that. So if we're supposed to be doing all this coaching and coach him up, well, where is the coaching in like real time? Where is that? So that's a big question as well, and especially when you look at the play calling is not great either. And so when you have all these issues going on around him, it's like, brother, I don't think you're going to see much at all, or much growth as we're all hoping to see. Now, as we continue to talk about this football team and what's going on here, right? This offensive line, a lot of things going on, Rusty, moving and shaking. Mekhi Becton, we thought it was a high ankle sprain. Comes out that it's not a high ankle sprain, it's a low ankle sprain, 1 to 2 weeks. He didn't practice today, but they're going to see if he's going to be playing in this upcoming game. What are your thoughts on him? Do you actually think he plays? And also, what are your thoughts on what's going on with Dwayne Brown? Would you activate him Thursday to the active roster before the 21-day window ends? Would you activate him to the active roster if you were the New York Jets head coach?
if he could play, I'm activating Dwayne Brown, and I'm sitting Becton for 2 games, and once Becton's healthy, I'm shutting Dwayne out if he lasts that long and putting Becton right back in. I can't stand Brown anyway. Okay. We're going to build around this guy, and how old is he? 58 years young? Like, what?
Yep.
What? And you're an offensive lineman? Not even a field goal kicker, and you're this old? Like, come on, man. And you're getting all these crazy injuries, and no.
Yeah.
I'm good on that. We gotta.
Okay.
There's got to be a gavel and I don't know, like a sword and axes. Just start chopping people's heads and just being like, look, you gotta go. This gotta happen. And with our injury staff, aren't we supposed to have the best medical thing ever? It's crazy,
bruh.
It's just complete backwards. It's like, no, this is how we're going to do it. We have Dr. Kevorkian as our head medical staff. It's like, good to see this guy. Yeah, have fun with this Achilles.
There's been a lot of talk surrounding possible changes, at least in the fan base, surrounding possible changes to our strength and conditioning staff, because these injuries, particularly along the offensive line, have been something that's been ongoing. But I got to slide off, Rusty, before I let you go.
I hear.
Give me your final score prediction. Jets, Dolphins, Black Friday. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
It's going to be like Black Eyes Friday, because our defense is going to be able to hold on for so long, man. Like, I hate the fish, but I'm realistic with it. I think we get and we're going to get our field goals. We might get 15 points, which is 5 field goals, but I don't know. I see us getting like 9 at most, and stupid fish getting something like 17 or 23 or something. Yeah.
9 to 23. All right.
Yeah, it's like it's a womp womp. Yeah. I can't help it.
Listen, bro.
I don't know.
I
hope
slide off. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right.
Absolutely, Joe. Salute to you and salute to the fellow savages. I hope I can say let's go Jets. I'm still going to say it, but it's what it is.
All right, salute, Rusty. Listen, it's rough, but it's always let's go Jets. We'll give it to them. I'm having a lot of fun. 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. I'm taking all callers. Next! We are going to Venom. Venom, we're coming directly to you. Perry, Chris, Mike, Jersey, new callers. I'll come to y'all in a second. For those of you that do not know Venom, he's a savage. Venom.
Joe.
Aaron Rodgers says that Zach Wilson has been scapegoated for the New York Jets' offensive issues, and there's 10 other guys out there that aren't doing their jobs either. What are your thoughts? Because Zach Wilson is now the New York Jets' third-string quarterback.
Man, that's where he needed to be, because we hear all these talks, Joe. Every time something goes wrong, Joe, we hear the lying Jets coaching staff, general manager. They always lie to us about something. First, Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Zach wasn't supposed to play. So now Aaron Rodgers was supposed to teach Zach how to be a professional quarterback. He get hurt the first 4 plays. What do you do from there? How do you pivot and say, damn, Zach, we don't want to play him. But you don't get another quarterback, so you keep him in there. The defense balls out. Y'all win the game. So y'all like, let's ride this out. Instead of getting a competent quarterback, you keep saying, let's see what Zach can do until this thing, the car hits the brick wall. So that's what we've been doing. It's just riding in this messed up car and hoping the brakes work, hoping we don't hit anybody, hoping nothing goes wrong. But now our car's been breaking down. Our receivers been dropping balls like crazy. And the defense just gave up. Like, how long do you want us to be responsible for everything? You telling us we got to do more, and then ridicule the players when they do more. Hey, defense, y'all got to get interceptions, and y'all got to get fumbles, and y'all got to score because the offense can't do it. So now when they pressing so much more, you like, damn, why y'all pressing for? How you going to tell them talk out of both sides of your mouth? Yo, don't Garrett Wilson, don't try to get a touchdown because he's pressing so much he fumbles because he's trying to make a play happen. Then you say, damn, you shouldn't be doing this, Garrett. But he has to because the quarterback play is so bad, bro. This is crazy. This team is just, oh, man, Joe. Me and you could run this organization better than what's going on right now, man. And
listen, Venom. Go ahead.
They gave Zach the job. He didn't earn. He didn't win nothing. They didn't want no competition. As soon as Mike White showed that he was better, they said, yo, we got to get him out of here. We can't have these people thinking that there's nobody better than Zach. We got to make sure that nobody, Tim Boyle, we don't even want to see what he looked like because if he's more confident than Zach has a problem. And we can't show them that Zach is just trash. He's just trash. So they were trying to hide this as much as they could. And it's not him. It's not all just Zach. I'm not saying that it's all Zach. There's a bunch of players that's not doing their part as well. But it's not all Zach's fault. The O-line is horrible. And this is the thing, Joe, we've been saying from last year. Yo, the O-line, fix up the O-line so we could see what dude is about. But they're not doing that. You see all these O-line, major O-lines on the free agents. You don't get none of them. And even then, he waited out. He played a money game and get the cheapest O-line, man, and then wonder why they all hurt, why they getting hurt.
Well,
but you go spend $22 million for Dwayne Brown, though.
I will say this. To the O-line, he did try to go after Orlando Brown Jr. I believe that's who it was. And Orlando Brown came out publicly and said that the Jets offered him the bag, I think a little bit more than where he actually ended up going. But he signed with who he signed with. The Jets did try to go out, and they did get Tim Boyle. I remember this thoroughly because I was asking this question when we first brought him in. I was saying to myself, hey, is anybody concerned about the fact that to this point, Zach Wilson has looked better than Tim Boyle? And if we're going to name Zach Wilson the second-string quarterback, that means he's going to play in a year where we didn't think that, he was the guy that was going to be doing that. We said to ourselves, we're going to sit him down. He's going to learn from Aaron Rodgers and all these things. And I think that came back to bite us. But they did bring in Tim Boyle. And Tim Boyle has, vast knowledge of the situation, vast knowledge of the offense. Now, even, this offseason, Zach looked way better than him, in preseason, way better than him. So he took the job. He took the job. But the question, the thing that still lingers is, why was that allowed, one? And then two, like a lot of people are saying now, could there have been other quarterbacks that we should have brought in to ensure that Zach was going to be sitting down regardless, But they even punted during the season because a guy like Carson Wentz, who is an adequate backup, right? He's not unbelievable. He'd be all right backup. Even he called the Jets twice, I believe it was during the offseason. And then again before he signed with the Rams, he hit them up as well. And still nothing. So they chose to go forward.
Even RG3 reached out. Yeah. Even RG3 reached out like, listen, man, let me come in and tell Aaron gets better, and I'll relinquish my position over back to him. All you need is somebody that's competent that could get you to where if Robert Saleh, if you're saying Zach is going to sit this whole year, don't tell me, oh, okay, we're not getting another quarterback because we're confident in him and he gives us the best chance to win. And then once everything starts falling apart, oh, we never thought about playing him. Don't tell me it's raining outside and you pissing out the window. Don't do it. Don't tell me that.
Now, Venom,
crazy, Joe.
Listen, I hear you. Now, we got Tim Boyle. He's going to be starting against the Dolphins. What are your expectations for him and this offense now? Are you expecting this offense to score more than 21 points with him at the helm of it?
I'm expecting them to score at least 21, Joe, because with Zach, you can't – and I'm just saying that because under Zach, you can't really see an offense function the correct way because every offense we saw it in, we were like, oh, this offense sucks. This offense sucks until somebody else came in. And then you saw some semblance of a functioning offense. So with Zach running it, you can't really tell if it's the offensive coordinator or is it the player. So even last game, you saw Zach missing things, but I think he's going to put forward the right steps. I think he's going to put us in the right steps. Hopefully this O-line holds up. The O-line isn't as bad. Once you see if Zach was to drop on his three-step drop and fire, this offensive line isn't that bad, but he holds it for 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and things like that. But also Dalvin Cook, he has to be responsible too. You got to put in somebody that's blocking running back as well, because Dalvin Cook gave up a couple sacks and just was like, they're my quarterback. They the turnstile. A lot of them are turnstiles there, man, in that line. So I think Boyle's going to do good though.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he gets like we saw, he got the ball out his hands pretty quickly. He knows the offense, so he gets the ball out pretty quickly. So as long as they call the right plays, they should be fine. We should be in the game a little bit.
I'm shocked that Nathaniel Hackett has been bad. I mean, really bad at calling plays, but everybody's like, hey, he's going to be all right. This offensive line has stunk. They didn't just start with Zach Wilson. They stunk when Aaron Rodgers was playing. Those couple of plays he was out there before he went down, he was running for his life. He was running for his life. But
Joe, this line held up in Kansas City. This line held up against Philly. This line was holding up some, so they're not as bad as we're thinking. So when you have an elite competition, they're going to fold a little bit, but they give you a couple drives where you can put yourself in games. They're not getting ran up. They're not getting their doors blown off. But there's some functioning of a good O-line. If you have the right quarterback, you can get the ball out quick.
Okay. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's the right guy. Yeah. He was running for his life.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens when he gets back.
We will see. Yeah, give me your final.
He said he's coming back.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. I don't even want to. Everybody knows my position on that. I do not want him coming back and end up re-injuring that situation. 10 weeks, man, that injury is usually 9 to 12 months to fully heal up. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. Look, I get it. He's ahead of schedule, and that's wonderful. I love that. But come on, man.
I love that,
he goes
but
down,
I don't want to see him this year.
Man, if he goes down for real, if he goes down for real and ends up missing time and, possibly maybe ending his career because if the injury is that bad, bro, I'm just going to lose it, bro. I'm going to lose it.
I know.
Man, I'm telling you. Look.
I think we're going to hold them tight, though. I think we're going to hold them tight. I think my score prediction is going to be, we're going to push it to the limit. I think it's going to be 21-24. The Dolphins are still going to win, but I think we're going to put up 21 and they're going to put up 24, man.
Venom, thank you for calling in. I got to slide off.
Joe,
have a good one.
Have a good one.
Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines, 515-602-9639. Look, I love Aaron Rodgers. I do, okay? The second we got him, I talked about how much I really, really love Aaron Rodgers, man. I wish he would have been a Jet from day one. Yeah, I wish that somehow we would have had a chance to be able to get him and bring him in, just keep him. But let me tell you something. If he goes down, if he tries to come back and does come back and goes down, I'm just going to lose it, bro. I'm just going to lose it. That's going to be that. All right? I'm going to go crazy. All right? We're keeping getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, we're going to Chris. Chris, we're coming directly to you. Mike, you'll be next. Perry, I see you in the building. You'll be after that as well. We're coming to you, too. New callers, hold on. For those of you that do not know Chris, he's a savage.
Hey, Joe, what's
Chris,
up, man?
What's going on, man? Listen, we've been talking about quite a bit tonight. Aaron Rodgers says that Zach Wilson was the scapegoat. Yeah. He said he was a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Then we had, we got this thing coming up, this Black Friday game. And we're going to see what's up with that. Tim Boyle was named the starter. So give me your thoughts on all this, man.
Well, I mean, Zach was this year, I mean, you can saw the writing on the wall with the Giants game. So, I mean, I think that I think he needs to reset. I think the kid just thinks too much when he's in the pocket. I think he doesn't have he's not natural with his I think he plays better with his hair on fire. Like, I think he plays better when the game is moving fast and, I don't think he can function in a structured kind of offense. So we did see some great things, some good things out of Zach this year. But what I think is that he was afraid to make a mistake, and he was thinking too much in the pocket. So, hopefully.
And I don't mean to cut you off, Chris, but is it that? And I'm playing devil's advocate here because I want to hear everybody's perspective. Right. Is it that he can't play in a structured offense, or is it that he can't play in an offense that's structured around his strengths? Because we question Daniel Hackett's play calling 24 hours a day, don't we? And if we're questioning his play calling, it's because we talked about it. He's not opening up the playbook for Zach to do what he does well.
Right, and I think that was the problem. I think the problem with the Jets was, when we brought in his quarterback coach, and we saw a different Zach Wilson. He took Tom Brady to task. He did a really good job. And we've seen spurts out of this guy where we thought he has a great arm. Nobody could deny that. And when he's on accuracy, he's pretty good. I just think the kid just thinks too much when he's in the pocket. So, I thought, and he's afraid to make a mistake. I mean, that's you. When you play in the NFL, you got to know what you're doing, and you got to have the play already read. When you kept the line, you can't think when you're back there, or you're finished. And unfortunately, that's between an NFL quarterback and a college quarterback. He's not processing the information quickly, and it's just unfortunate because the kid does have enough talent to be a good quarterback in this league. Not great, but decent. Not like Joe Montana or he has an opportunity to be a decent quarterback, but he just thinks too much, and I think that'll come with experience with with his next team, or hopefully he'll get picked up somewhere, and and maybe he'll figure it out. But
listen,
I don't know.
I know that everybody, and we'll see, because when Saleh was asked about his future here with the New York Jets, he said they'll deal with that in the off season. Okay, and we'll see if Zach Wilson actually ends up, being released or not being on the Jets roster. I have some thoughts about that, but I'm going to wait. All right.
Right.
I'm going to wait. Okay. But here's my question, right? Here's my question, Chris. If we're holding Zach Wilson accountable for his, or scapegoating him, right, and he needs to be benched to provide a spark for the offense,
right,
why aren't we holding Allen Lazard accountable for his play?
I don't know.
Why hasn't he been?
But Allen Lazard has a tendency to play hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. This guy usually catches a lot of balls, and he might be playing hurt, man. I'm just gonna, because he catches a lot of balls. I've seen him I don't know, man.
Are you saying he's got broken hands and he's playing through a broken hand or something?
No. I'm saying this. Allen Lazard doesn't usually drop passes, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on. You can't say the guy's not good. We've seen him good with Rodgers and stuff. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the ball's getting to him too quickly. Maybe he's afraid. Because if you're getting hit in your knee and your knee is not good, you're thinking about your knee when you jump up and you get the thing. And maybe it looks to me like you may find out that Allen Lazard is playing with injury. I'm just going to be honest. That's what it looks like to me. He's got an injury, and he's playing through this injury, and, it's affecting his catches. Because I've seen this guy do some unbelievable catches. Unbelievable. He's been a good hands guy. He's not like Corey Davis dropping balls everywhere. But I think that, the problem. But I think, you're right. He should be benched. But what I'm saying is that overall, I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt because throughout his NFL career, he's been able to catch those balls. So I don't know what's going on. And I don't think he's scared to go out in the field. He's scared to go out in the field and play. I don't think Alan Lazard has been that type of guy.
Listen, if you're not getting it done, you're not getting it done. I remember when Mekhi Becton was dealing with injuries, and I was saying, but he was an unbelievable tackles rookie year, and the first thing people would say is, Joe, that was his rookie year. That's not right now, right? We heard that. It's about what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know if he's injured. Nobody said anything about his injury. If he was that hurt, I'm pretty sure they would have sat him down for weeks and let him heal up because we've seen that across the board with guys that are dealing with real big injuries here. Alan Lazard is going out there and not playing like he needs to be playing, not playing like the guys that we paid all that money to. That's not what he's doing.
Right.
He's out there just loafing around. And not just that, but he's playing around out on the field. He's chasing guys down, hugging them. He was hugging the Buffalo player. Like, that's ridiculous. This is like some of the stuff that he's doing out there. And people are talking about the drops, which are crazy. They're drive-killing drops, right? But the lazy route running and stuff that we're seeing out of him, too, that's all ridiculous. He should be sat down, too, put in Jason Brownlee. That's what we were told was going to happen, right? Nobody's talking about C.J. Uzomah. C.J. Uzomah is getting penalties left and right. Y'all want to sit him down? Why? C.J. Uzomah was a great tight end when he was with the Bengals.
Right.
He did a lot of great things there. But he's playing like trash right now, so sit him down. He's costing us right now. Sit him down until he figures out he can't do that. Yeah. So you're right. I'm just saying, if we're talking accountability, I need a standard. I want you to be accountable across the board. And Alan Lazard is playing bad. There's a lot of drops. And we're talking, listen, Garrett Wilson, he don't need to be benched. But Garrett Wilson has had some drops, too, recently. And not just drops, but fumbles that have really hurt us.
Right.
And I feel like people are not talking about these things. I understand that Zach has, he's not playing like Jalen Hurts and Mahomes, but it's like, what about these other guys, too? And that leads me to my next question for you, Chris. Now Tim Boyle's the starter. What are your expectations of him in this upcoming game against the Dolphins? Are you expecting this Jets offense to score 21 points or more with him at the helm?
Well, unlike other people, I like Tim Boyle in the preseason. I saw some good things out of him. I saw him getting the ball out of the thing, and he's a veteran quarterback. And, sometimes when you're on the bench and you're seeing what's going on, you have a different feel of the game. So we'll see what happens with him. He knows the offense. I mean, there's no excuse about it. He knows the offense. And
he knows, through.
I mean, he knows the offense back and forward. He knows this offense. So we're going to see if Nathaniel Hackett's offense is good. I mean, the test of time with Nathaniel, the only two quarterbacks that it didn't really work for, if you look at it, is Zach Wilson and then Russell Wilson, the two Wilson guys. But he did do good with Blake Bortles and a couple other guys. So they did, he was with them. So we'll see what happens, man. I mean, if he comes out and if he comes out and lights up for 40 points, we're gonna know with Zach Wilson. We're gonna know.
Well,
and the way this franchise is, the way this franchise and this, I've been, my birthday was the other day, and I've been a Jet fan all my life. And the way this franchise is, right, and I'm going to say something that's crazy on your show, right? The way this franchise is, with the way we will go to the playoffs or the Super Bowl was never going to be predicted. Like, we were never going to go into the season. This is my feeling. We were never going to go into the season and be the number one thing. And it was going to be something totally fluke. And if you look at the rest of our schedule, it's very favorable. You got two quarterbacks that are injured. You got a Miami team that's coming in we usually split with. There are 7 winnable games on this schedule. And Aaron Rodgers has a possibility of coming back. So, I mean, this team, this organization for the last 50 years has been insane, crazy. You don't know what's going to happen. And I say with the Jets, expect the unexpected. That's it.
Okay. Well, you better expect to put up some points, because if you don't, you'll be expecting to lose, okay? Give me your final score prediction, okay? Jets, Dolphins, who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
I think the Jets. I think just going by what I said, I think the Jets win 38-17.
38-17. He's the first person to pick the Jets tonight. All right.
I'm going on.
Thank you for calling in, Chris. Man, whoa, we're going to keep it moving. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. We'll get to every caller. Hold on. The lines are hot, but trust, we'll get to everybody. Next, we're going to Mike, man. For those of you that do not know Mike, he's a savage. Mike salutes. Aaron Rodgers says Zach Wilson was a scapegoat. Zach Wilson says, he doesn't feel like a scapegoat. He knows the offense wasn't putting up points with him at the helm of it. Now you got Tim Boyle here as a New York Jets starter. What are your thoughts on all this, man?
First of all, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, salute. Hey, listen, happy Thanksgiving as well. Thanksgiving is coming up to everybody. I apologize I didn't say that at the start of the show. I'm just moving and grooving here. Give me your thoughts, Mike.
Well, I think Zach has run his course. It's sad. There's so much expectations for him, and he's not getting it done. The players don't believe in him. I think he's done. I really think he's done.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I hear you. All right, and I hear that there's a lot of people saying, hey, Aaron Rodgers went down and the players kind of, their morale or their thought process about the season and how they should go forward went down as well. But I'm looking around and I'm saying, listen, if we're holding Zach accountable, why aren't other guys that are going out there, playing horribly, why aren't they being held accountable? Why aren't we seeing
absolutely.
Alan Lazard being sat down? When I'm watching Lazard go out there and drop football after football after football, right? He's gotten penalties as well that has hurt us offensively. I'm watching guys that are just going out there doing whatever. Now, keep in mind, even when guys go down, okay, even when you lose guys during the season, you as a player still have to go out there and do your job. Can you imagine, and I want to put this out there, can you imagine if those players with the Eagles, the year they won that Super Bowl with Nick Foles, if they would have just shut it all down once they lost their starting quarterback? Can you imagine what that would have looked like?
Yep.
Those guys kept pushing and kept fighting, right? When everybody thought it was over, said and done, and guess what happened? They kept pushing, they kept fighting, and they won a Super Bowl. That's why you're not supposed to shut it down. And if you are that guy that's shutting it down, then your behind should not be on this team. You should be gone. Because that means anytime you face adversity during the year, when things aren't going your way, or things aren't playing out how you think it should play out, or how you feel it should, that you'll just shut it down. So that's my thought process on guys that are just, like everybody's just saying, well, Zach's here, so they don't believe in it. You go out there and you still run your routes, though. When the ball's thrown to you, you catch it. That's your job. If you only decide that you're going to play when you feel like you want to play, then what is it? What are we going to do here? But give me your thoughts on that, Mike, and also give me your thoughts about what your expectations are with Tim Boyle at the helm of this offense.
Okay. What really made me mad is when they had that 80-yard touchdown pass when Sauce tried to jump the route with the interception.
Yeah.
And got scored. And then Lazard hugged the guy in the end zone. Oh. He would have been on the bench. He would have been right on the bench, Mike. You got to be kidding me, man. After that,
goodness.
I mean, come on, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're professional. You're professional. He drops balls. Mm-hmm. He's not blocking. It's the lazy pass routes. He's got to be upset. Mm-hmm. Like they were saying, they were going to make changes. They didn't make any changes. I wanted to see Izzy in the game. They put him in garbage time.
Yes.
For Beckett get hurt because he missed a block on the linebacker, and he got rolled up on. And when was the last time? When was the only time that you ever saw Zach Wilson call out the Mike linebacker? Have you ever seen that before? He can't read a blitz. He can't do a line shift, seeing the blitz. I think Boyle, he knows the offense. I think he'll do good. He'll get rid of the ball quick. He'll have a week of practice. He should have been in the half.
Do you think we'll score more than 21 points?
It'll be close. I think they'll score around that. I think they will.
Okay. You think he's going to score too? Okay. I'm here. I'm listening. I want to see the New York Jets have success. Again, I'm not tied to Zach Wilson. If anybody, I'm tied to Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers. Also hyped when we got him. Can't wait to see him when he comes back. I don't want to see him come back the 2nd of December, but I want to see him next year. But I am hyped to see Aaron Rodgers. Listen, before I let you go, Mike, give me your final score prediction. Jets, Dolphins, who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
Ooh. I'm going to say 20-17 Jets.
20-17 Jets. All right, let's go. Again, I want to thank Mike for calling in. We're going to keep on going. All right, we're going to keep on going because these lines are hot. We're going to get to everybody. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're getting to all callers' trust. Salutes to the Savages. I'll give my prediction at the end of the show. Everybody knows that. I don't duck the prediction. Don't duck it, okay? You duck the prediction, and I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out, baby. I'm going to call you out. I've called people out. Don't duck the game prediction. Don't do that, all right? Give me something, okay? But we'll get to that at the end of the show for my personal prediction, all right? Salutes to all the Savages. We'll keep getting to everybody, all right? Be patient, 515-602-9639. Next, we're going to Perry. We're going to Ronald Perry. Phenom, you're next, and then Angelo as well. And North Carolina, I see you in the building. We'll be coming to you soon, too. But we got to get to Perry, all right? For those of you that do not know, Ronald, man, this guy is an absolute savage. Ronald, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. Zach Wilson is the New York Jets' number 3 quarterback. Simeon will be number 2. Tim Boyle is the number 1. The Jets will now carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster going into the game against the Dolphins. What are your thoughts about that, man?
I think that honestly, I don't even know what to say about Tim Boyle because I'm not gonna act like I know what time it is with Tim Boyle. I really don't. But you know what? Anybody's better than Zach to me right now. I'm thinking like,
okay.
I mean, it's got to be something different, even if it ain't better. It's something different. It might gel with the offense. And you know, hey, that's crazy how everybody's saying like, well, you know, it's not only Zach's fault. It's not only Zach's fault. And you know what? The guys are absolutely right. It's not only Zach's fault. But you know, it reminds me of you ever seen that movie Titanic when when the guy was sealing the ship, right? But when it hit that iceberg and that ship was going down, he held on. You know what I'm saying? He held on and he went down with the ship. It's like, listen, we're not going to say it's his fault. We can't say, oh, it's his fault. The ship is sinking. But you know what? He has a big part. He's a big part of the blame, and he's going to take it and go down with the ship. And that's kind of how I look at Zach. Just take it and go down because you're the reason. You're a major reason that the ship is sinking right now. I'm not going to say you're the reason. You're the complete reason. Of course not. We see that it's definitely not all Zach, but you know what? He's the one that he's the head of the hell. He's the one at the head. So he's the one that's going to take the punishment. Just like if they started winning, he's the one that's going to take. He's the one we're going to give all the glory to. Like, yeah, it's Zach, whatever. Even though we know it's the defense or whatever, but we still would have to give props to Zach just because he's the quarterback. That's just the position that he's in.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, there definitely have been games this year where we absolutely credit the defense for everything that they did and the way they kept us in a position to win a game when we did win those games where they came out and played tough. And I understand that take, but my question then becomes, and I'm going to be asking this all night tonight because I'm going to keep turning up the heat on this guy like I've been for a couple of weeks now. If we are benching Zach Wilson for his play, which, okay, you know, you want to say, hey, you know, we'll scapegoat him, fine. Why has Allen Lazard not been benched? We paid this guy $44 million. I'm going to say it again. 2 foes. 44. Double foes. $44 million this past offseason to come on in here and be the guy, right? Because we said, hey, Corey Davis dropping a lot of footballs. You can't really depend on him. He ended up retiring, though, right? You're coming in here. You're going to be the guy that's going to be what Corey Davis should have gave us in this offense. And he's done nothing but drop balls and kind of loaf around. Why is he not being benched then, Ronald?
Yeah, that's a question that's definitely would have to be answered by the management. But, I think it's just because it's Rodgers' boy. That's Rodgers' homeboy. They're the ones that it's like they ride together. It's like they ride or die, and obviously they're dying right now. And I really believe that's it. What else other reason could there be? Because he's obviously not playing good. He's not playing good right now. I don't know. It's like I really don't know. Like maybe is it Zach? Is it Zach? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look like it's Zach. But you know what? We're gonna see with Tim Boyle. Like I said, it's gonna be. I'm not saying Tim Boyle is better, but it's gonna be something different. It's going to be something different. And honestly, I don't think that Boyle is going to finish the game, and the dude that's coming behind him, I really think that he's going to step it up. I don't know why, but I just feel as if he's the one that's going to step it up. Simeon, okay. I really believe that he's the one that's going to step. Boyle, I think he can manage. I think Boyle can manage the game. I really do. As long as I don't think he's going to turn the ball over. He can manage the game. And the defense will basically win the game for us. But I really don't know what's going to happen right now. I just know that we're like the Jets team is we're in shambles right now. I don't like the way this feels, man. Like and even with Rodgers saying that he's the scapegoat. Like, who else is going to be? He's the quarterback. He should be the scapegoat. Who else want to put it on? Oh, we're going to say is the GM or is that you know what? You're absolutely right. There's other guys out there, Ronald,
but there's other guys out there though, Ronald. He can't listen. And again, I'm not being a Dak defender. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You're saying it's okay. He could be a scapegoat. Who else? Well, this offensive line is not playing up to snuff. He's running for his life. You got guys dropping balls. I just talked about Allen Lazard continuously dropping footballs. You got guys like C.J. Uzomah going out there taking touchdowns off the board like we saw against the Raiders with penalties. You got guys putting together drive-killing penalties. That's not Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson can't throw the ball and catch the ball. He can't block for himself and then throw the ball and then catch the ball. He can't do those things. So where's the accountability for other guys that are not playing up to snuff as well? I talk about Allen Lazard. He should be benched. He shouldn't be getting no snaps. Not if you're going to go out there and do the stuff that we're seeing him do. I need to see more Jason Brownlee. I need to see more Malik Taylor. I need to see more of other guys that are going to go out there and play. They paid him $44 million. He's playing the way he is. I'll give you the final word, Ronald. Go ahead.
I would like to see Bradley, but anyways, I just think that there's so much other factors to blame it on, but you know what? It's kind of like a snake. You got to chop it off at the head, and the head is Zach. Start right there. And see what happens. We chop Zach off. Let's see what happens. You know what? If it doesn't work out, then let's start chopping at the offensive line one by one to chop it down and see what happens. And you know what? I just talking about this whole thing. It's kind of like, it's making me sick. My stomach now. I'm gonna give you a final score though, Joe. And honestly, and this is really how I feel. We're gonna put up about 17 points, and that's due to that good defense. But the Miami Dolphins offense, I'm telling you, they're gonna be trouble, man. And they're gonna put up 24 points, and they're not gonna put it up early neither. They're gonna put it up later on in the game when the defense is tired of basically carrying the offense on their back. They're gonna get tired of that after a while. So they're gonna win it about 24-16 or 20. Yeah, maybe about
24.
Maybe about 15. Yeah, something like that. It is what it is, man. Hey, Joe.
He's taking the Dolphins.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you letting me talk. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Thank you so much for calling.
I wish it wasn't that way. I really wish it wasn't that way, but that's just the way it is. Take it easy, Joe. I appreciate you.
You have yourself a good one. Ronald took the Dolphins, too. We're going to keep moving. 515-602-9639. Next, we're going to Phenom. North Carolina, you'll be next. We're talking to Phenom. For those of you that do not know, Phenom is a savage. Phenom, I've been here talking all night with people. Zach Wilson is now the third quarterback on the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers says that he was a scapegoat. What are your thoughts about everything that's been going on, man? Oh, I think we just lost Phenom. Okay, we're going to North Carolina. You're coming up. All right, you're coming on up. For those of you that do not know, that man from North Carolina, he's a savage. What's going on, my friend? It's always great to speak with you. Give me your thoughts about what was said by Aaron Rodgers. He said that Zach Wilson was the scapegoat. And Zach Wilson is now, of course, as we know, the New York Jets' third quarterback now. We're carrying Trevor Siemian as number 2, Tim Boyle as number 1. What are your thoughts about all this, man?
Well, I think Aaron Rodgers is trying to protect Zach and be a good friend and be supportive of him, since their relationship kind of like a big brother, little brother kind of thing. But sadly and unfortunately, he won't be able to protect Zach. And what it is when the team has made mistakes, when the errors of the team that breaks down, that's not Zach Wilson's fault. It's magnified. Just like any mistake he makes is magnified. If he takes an untimely sack or throws an incomplete pass, everything is magnified. There's a little margin for error at the current state of this team. I've been a fan. I told you the last time we talked, I've been a fan for a long time, over 40 years, and I've seen different Jet quarterbacks come and go. What it is, we need a leader of men, and unfortunately, Zach, it doesn't have that presence, that strength about him that the team can truly rally around, in tough times. Even Mike White is no more than a backup, but the players seem to respond so positively to Mike White. He was more like one of the guys, and I think, the teammates are trying not to rock the boat because Zach, he's on the team, he's the New York Jet, and they try to try to work with him, make him feel welcome, and try to suck it up and then support him and stuff, because that's what's expected of them. But you know how it is when you deal with human relationships, or you've been around people. Some people are just natural leaders, and some people tend to gravitate to, and then there are others that just don't have that energy about them. And unfortunately, Zach doesn't have it. Whoever the next quarterback is, beyond Aaron Rodgers, good, thank God, he'll be back next year. But after that, they're going to have to find a leader of men, someone who just has that energy and people rally around them. It makes a big difference. And, unfortunately, the Jets just don't have it. I just have to hope they respond to Tim Boyle. Hope they can rally around Tim Boyle and at least go out there and be competitive. I happened to get to see the Buffalo Bill game. I saw the second half of that. Even though, since I work at the airport, I had to catch the lift home, to rush home to get to see that game. And I got to catch it from halftime on, and it wasn't good. It wasn't very good. It was shocking to see the defense break down, and the defense had been such a steward of the team and foundation throughout the year. We've all talked about how great the Jet defense has been, and they've done the best they can. But the standard has been raised. That's unrealistic. Expecting the defense to carry the team and score points. That's not how it works. The defense's job is to manage the game. Don't let the team get too far behind and try to get the ball back to the offense. That's what the defense's job is. And because of the state of the Jets offense, with injuries to the offensive line, and some of it is a lack of discipline, but untimely penalties like the Raider game, notably.
Yeah.
And it seems like things are just compounded in such a way that it's gained momentum. and it's become like a weekly thing. Every week the team struggles, and you look around the NFL, you look at some of the scores, the other teams are scoring points and look like normal functional offense. And the Jets, meanwhile, have regressed. You know, I've seen a regression in them over the last few years, and how they've,
Yeah, it has been mind-boggling to watch this offense, and it's not just I think that the part that bothers me the most is watching the tease of offensive drives that you believe they're going to end in points. They're looking good, they move it down the field, and then the drive-killing penalties happen. That's what throws me out the window. I cannot stand watching that. And so I understand, Zach Wilson, Saleh came out and talked about they've made changes, which they didn't make enough changes, in my opinion, because Izzy should have absolutely had more carries. We should see Jason Brownlee more. We should see, guys more. But, they decided, hey, they're going to, go for it and sit Zach down, and Trevor Siemian is going to be the backup, and now Tim is the starter. And this is my next question for you. With Tim as the starter, what do you think this offense is going to look at, and do you think Nathaniel Hackett will open up the playbook more for Tim Boyle than he did for Zach Wilson?
Yeah, it's possible, because I think Tim Boyle is more experienced and been in the league longer than Zach, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been in the system.
He's, I guess, more of a veteran.
Go back to the Packers time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the case, because he's more seasoned, a little more experienced, even though obviously he doesn't have the same ceiling or level of talent and physical ability. But I think that's not the most important thing. It's the physical too. I've been saying this lately, and people tend to forget, because we get caught up in the ability to throw the ball and make these exciting scrambles. It's really played from the neck up. People tend to forget the quarterback position is neck up. 90% of that stuff, sports period, is mental, and particularly the quarterback position. You look at the history of the league, the Joe Montanos and all them, they played that stuff neck up. Montana was under Bill Walsh. They introduced that West Coast that so many of these teams are emulating and running their version of it. But that's where it all began with Joe, being the right case study, someone who was able to pick it up and understand it. And I miss Mike White. I wish he was still our backup. I don't think we could have beat Buffalo, and I'm not sure we could have beat Miami, but we certainly could have beat the Raiders. I think that game was winnable, and there's some more games on the schedule remaining that I think if we had Mike White, we probably could have won those games,
Yes, we'll be seeing him Friday. He'll be on that Miami bench.
On Mike White.
Across the field.
Now, and miss Mike White, though. Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, Aaron Rodgers talked about coming back December 2nd. What are your thoughts surrounding his return or possible return? Is that something that you want to see? Do you think it's too soon? And after that, give me your final score prediction.
I think looking at the state of this team with the state of the offensive line, I say absolutely not. They have work to do. Looking at this team, they have some work to do. I think 2024 and 2025. 2024, they're not going to be looking at a quarterback, because Aaron is coming back in what will be his final season. And they have some work to do. They need some offensive line, a couple of offensive linemen, a couple more offensive weapons to give the offense a boost. So I don't think he should. I think he should go on and tend to his Achilles tendon, which was a very serious injury. I think, thank God for sports medicine now, it's advanced so much that there's even a prospect of Aaron Rodgers being able to come back with such what back in the day was would have been considered devastating and career-ending, Achilles injury. That and the ACL, those type of injuries used to be career-ending, where players couldn't never be the same. And because of medical technology, we actually talk about the possible return of Aaron Rodgers. I say no. Looking at the current state of this team, their offensive line is not very good. I love Joe Tippmann and some of the things Joe Douglas has tried to do, but because of injuries and shuffling the offensive line around practically every week, they've had to shuffle it around because people keep getting hurt. I say Aaron Rodgers should just sit down. I know he means well, and I know that's what's expected of him because he's a pro. that he's going to try to work his way back. Because I was him, I said no. Just sit down, and nobody would have any ill will or bad feelings about Aaron Rodgers just to change his mind, just decide to just, sit out the rest of the year. Because we want him at full strength next year. No complications, none of that. Because next year we know it's a make or break year for Saleh and Joe Douglas, and I'm really nervous about that because I don't want to see him make any changes. I don't want to see the team torn down.
I don't want to talk about that too early, but you always come on here and find a way to start to get me to spill my takes early. I'll tell you what, next year is going to be a very big year for Robert Saleh and his staff. If they come out there with Aaron Rodgers and stink it up and don't make the playoffs, brother.
Oh, I hate to think. I thought about that today. I hate to think.
Jets, Dolphins. Give me your final score prediction, please.
Try to be optimistic, but
come on.
The tired of things, your last caller kind of hit it on the head. I'm hoping for at least one touchdown, and hopefully I'm thinking possibly we could maybe with a new quarterback in there. You know how it is. The team tend to try to rally around a new face. Maybe we could scratch out a couple of field goals on top of that, get to 16 points. But I'm really worried about whether our defense, as good as it is, can shut down the Dolphins and keep them under that number. I think we can get to 16 points. One touchdown, three field goals. I think 16 points. I think we can get to that number, but then after that, I'm not sure.
Give it to me. Who do you think wins? Who do you think?
The last caller said 24-16. I think that's the number I'm kind of thinking as well.
24-16
kind of close to that number. I think
Dolphins.
I think Miami. I want to pick our guys.
I gotta slide off because I got other callers. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you.
Yeah. Thanks.
We're going to keep getting to these lines, 515-602-9639. I think we've got Phenom back into the building. Phenom, we're coming directly to you to close out the show here. For those of you that do not know, all right, Phenom, he is a savage, all right? Phenom, we lost you earlier. We're getting tight on time within the show. But give me your thoughts, okay? Aaron Rodgers says Zach Wilson is the scapegoat for the New York Jets' offensive issues. What are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on Tim Boyle being the Jets starter now?
First, gobble. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody and their families. What a great caller the last guy was. Oh, he was on point. Look, Jets have been it's a hard season. Jets have had some opportunities to do some good things, and we've seen football is the ultimate team game. No one man loses. No one man loses. No one man loses. So what am I? Give me it again. Give me my question again. Give me my question again.
Get it together, Phenom. New York Jets. Okay, we're here. We're watching the Jets. Aaron Rodgers says that Zach Wilson was a scapegoat. What are your thoughts on that? Okay. Do you think he was a scapegoat, Phenom?
No. Look, we know the head coach gets the big praise. We know the quarterback gets the big praise. When you win, when you lose, you're gonna get the hammer. So it's just the way it is. So did Zach Wilson help himself? No. Did Zach Wilson help himself? Absolutely not. I mean, but you compared it to a Philadelphia team, the Super Bowl team with Philadelphia. Only difference is they have Pro Bowl center Kelsey and Lane Johnson, and they have some real fine offensive weapons. We have some fine offensive weapons, but we don't have the protection on the offensive line. After the first four snaps, the plan went out the window. Because who was expecting Zach to start this year? No one.
Well, you would have to. Listen, Zach. I wasn't comparing the talent of Philadelphia. That Eagles team they're very talented. They had other guys. I think Alshon Jeffrey was still on that team. I was saying that the mentality here that if Aaron Rodgers is not playing and it's Zach Wilson, it's okay. We can just do whatever. We don't have to believe. We don't have to go out there and do our jobs. That is absolutely trash. That should be thrown away.
Right.
Because if those guys in Philadelphia did that, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I agree with that thought. But we know, see, that first game, once Aaron Rodgers went out, that team played. They played the game out. They won the game. They found a way to win in the biggest moment where they could have all just called it in. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
The defense, we know, hasn't quit. They've been worn down. Because we have an inept offense. But let's make no I can be clear that the Jets have one of the outstanding defenses in this league. At the end of the season, we're 50 years from now, we'll be talking about, nobody's going to see how great that defense played. But we know they played well. But so there's a lot of people at blame here. But like I said, not too many teams could have survived starting quarterback and on and on from that point. So and so let's keep it real. This year had a lot of promise, but 4 snaps. Let's go back. 4 snaps into the season, we couldn't protect Aaron Rodgers. So now all bets are off. All the chemistry with the Green Bay guys, that's gone. All that's out the window. Only thing we can stand on is our defense, and we stood on them as long as we could. They held up. Held up their point of the season, but now they're worn down. So I'm not going to say.
I'm sorry. We're getting tight on time. They're going to kick me off in just a second. Give me your final score prediction. Jets, Dolphins. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
Unfortunately, Tim Boyle plays poised. He puts up a couple scores, but the Dolphins have the better offense. They probably win 28-14.
Ooh, 28-14. I want to thank Phenom for calling in and giving us some takes. Whew, this is a show. Listen, I got to get out of here quickly before Blog Talk hates on your boy. You know how it goes. Man, this is going to be a tough one. I think Tim Boyle is going to come out and try to do what he can. I think a lot of this same offensive issues that we've seen will probably continue, especially along the offensive line if Mekhi Becton doesn't play. Even if he does, the ankle should be okay, so I think he's going to continue to do his job and hold up the way he's been holding up. But I think the rest of the offensive line is going to have issues. This Dolphins pass rush is serious business, from Chubb to all that stuff. And, again, you got Ramsey back there with Howard. This Dolphins secondary is serious business too. They get it rolling. So I'm a little bit worried about our defense getting worn down because I think we're going to stall a lot offensively. And let me tell you something. This Dolphins offense is not a joke either. I think they're the number 1 offense in the league right now. I hate the Dolphins. I want to put that on record yet again. I can't stand that team. I don't like the fans. I don't like the stadium. I don't like the people that maintain the stadium. I don't like the people that built the stadium. I don't like the field. I don't like the seats. I don't like the ushers, the people that bring popcorn. If you serve drinks at the Dolphins Stadium, I don't like you either. I don't like anything about the Dolphins whatsoever. I don't like the owner, the coach, anybody that knows them. I don't like anything that has to do with the Dolphins. They're the team I cannot stand the most in the NFL. But I think that they beat the New York Jets. I'm taking the Dolphins to beat the Jets 20-7. 20-7, I'm taking the Dolphins now. I hate the Dolphins. I got to slide out of here because we're tight on time and I got to get going, so I got to shut down the show. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me show you to promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Also, message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave you some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I am on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Show, @The Long Beach Show on Twitter. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. And I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my jersey on at all times. Vera Tucker, baby. When he comes back next season, he's going to be phenomenal, okay? Just be patient. I'm also on YouTube as well. Go on over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Also, when you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Please give the video a thumbs up as well. If you want to troll me, go ahead. There's a comment section there. You can troll me, and I will go back and forth with you. And as always, people, when you see me in person, there's arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will always remain free no matter what anybody tells you. Thank you for interacting with me any way that you can, all right, whether you're in the chat, whether you call in or anything that you do. I want to thank you folks, all right? So until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace.
If there's anything better than getting a few of your favorite things from McDonald's, it's getting a few of your favorite things from McDonald's for less in the McDonald's app. Delicious. Order in the McDonald's app today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Save time and order ahead in the app and get an Egg McMuffin, Big Mac, McCrispy, or 10-piece McNuggets for just $2. Offer valid one time per day from 11/20 to 12/10/23. Participating McDonald's. Exclusions apply. See app for details. Must opt into rewards.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.